So this is a very special edition of Raphscast, Tales from Mohawk Ad. And this time we're hearing live Tales from Mohawk Ad. Very much. It's the last day of the 30-year class of 2024. And I have with me here Christina, Lin, the other Christina, or it could be the reverse. JD and Logan with me, all 30-year students. And can you talk a little bit for me? What is your kind of a specialization when you graduated, probably if you're a copywriter or if you're a director? And I'll start with you, Christina Palmer.
Christina here. I'm looking forward to being an art director. And this is Lin. I'm also going the art director route. And this is the other Christina, and I'm looking to be a copywriter.
This is Logan, and same as Christina, looking to be a copywriter.
Yeah, I JD here. I've kind of gone a bit back and forth, but I'm really enjoying copywriting.
All right. So I have a few questions. We are here just a few hours of all of you guys have your last few minutes as college students. And I wanted to ask a few questions. You have first years working right now, second years going to third year and everything, as you guys know. For a first year student, what would be the recommendations from somebody who's living here first year? What to pay attention, not to pay attention, what to focus on, and what mistakes to avoid as a student?
Ooh, okay. So my big one, and I say this to everybody, is do your research. People here have probably heard me say this a bajillion times, but do your research because that's where you're going to really find your ideas stand out. Don't just sit down and start thinking of cool things, because at the end of the day, that might get you somewhere, but it's not going to give you that nice, juicy nugget that you can really come up with a great campaign. That would be my biggest thing. I see everybody looking at and agree.
Yeah, everybody's doing it here.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, agreed. It's almost like you want to be a sponge. You want to do research like everywhere, whether you're on social media, just scrolling on your phone. Like you can always be doing research.
Yeah, back those like statistics. Honestly, I found like are your best friends. Like you just on the most weird statistic of like anything, you can make a whole campaign. You can make a whole thing out of it. Like it's really cool. So yeah, I agree 100%.
The weirder the statistic, the better.
Right.
And more needs.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're saying first years usually make the mistake of, I just go with it's in my head, a perception.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I know Jeff says this a lot, but he'll always say it's like don't pick the first idea that you think of. Always like the more you think of the ideas, even though it gets difficult, like he says, it's a muscle you have to like exercise. So exercise, even if you consider it a dumb idea, write it down because you never know how somebody else who's going to be around you is going to expand on it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I feel like in first year you have all these like super weird ideas, and then kind of when you look back, you're like, is that actually possible to do? But back to the statistic thing, like if you actually have a statistic of something, you can make something off of it. Like it's possible, you know. Where first year, I feel like you do a lot of things that are like really out of the box and kind of, is it actually possible to do? That's what I felt like was a big change. So
yeah. Even if it's out of the box, but you have a solid statistic to base yourself in, it'll make it more plausible for the person that's experiencing it for the first time, right? They're like, this is a crazy idea.
Yeah.
But like, I can see where it would make sense and why it would be solving. That's the other thing, solving a problem. If you can solve a problem, that's like, you're golden.
Yeah.
That's like, that takes the cake.
My advice would be, if you're in your first year, it's never too early to find someone that you trust to partner up with. You go through 1 or 2 or 3 people, but make sure you find someone you trust that you can stick with the rest of the program, because that's going to help out a lot. And most of your fundamentals, you're going to get them the first year. That's where you get the most theory. And once you're in the industry, it's good to have those notes to look back on in first year. So they're underrated in my opinion.
For sure. Yeah. And I guess also just like the mark aspect, like obviously you want to get good marks, but what I really learned is don't focus too much on what grade you want to get. Kind of focus more on the feedback that the teachers are giving you and how you can improve. Because sure, I got a 67, but why did I get a 67? Like what can I do different to now get that higher mark? Or maybe not even a higher mark, but just a better campaign. I think don't be so focused on the grades, be focused on the work, which I think was a big learning curve for me. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I mean, that also speaks to sometimes you're just so close to the work that you maybe can't see what's wrong with it. So you need to show other people. And that's where
having friends within the program or having friends within the industry to be like, hey, take a look at this. Like, what am I missing here? There's something not gelling, something that's not working, and I'm too close to this to be able to tell.
Exactly, because you get so lost in it, right?
Yeah.
You've been working hours on a certain project, and you're like, this looks great. And then somebody else sees something, and you're like, oh, I didn't even think about that. Like, you're right. It's maybe does need a fair bit of tweaks. So, yeah.
How do you feel on looking back on your projects when you were first year?
Oh my God.
Why'd you pass us?
That's hilarious. Yeah, it's definitely funny to see like where we start and where we end up. Like comparing, I'm sure you guys do the exact same thing. Like the things that we're working on currently versus the stuff that we started working on. It's like an absolute world of a difference. Like I can't believe that we were even the same program.
Yeah.
It doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
One thing that I like the whole time in third year, I kept thinking back to this. Like the first assignment we get first year, the associations assignment, I remember having so much difficulty with that, like writing out 30. And then now I can like do 30 in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like that's like the base. That's where I'm like starting off. And then I'll pull like another 2 pages. So it just feels wild to like compare the work. Even not even the work, just the skills that you have.
But like, just like what you're saying, like if we didn't do that though, no way we would have been able to.
Yeah.
Like we look back now, like wow, like that's the type of work we did. But if we didn't do that, I don't think any of us here would be at the stage that we are now because it's that constant like just keep learning and keep trying and keep messing up and keep succeeding, all that stuff. So I think that really guides the
I
way.
think there's something good about the nervousness that we had in first year because that meant that every one of our 30 ideas, we really sat on those for a long time. Yeah. And the quality of all of those ideas was a lot more cooked in the oven. Yeah. So I will say when the time constraints get a bit more difficult, you're going to miss how much time you spend on each one of those ideas.
It's so true. It's so true. I find myself when I look back at some of those first year ideas, I go, oh, I can see where I was going. I can see what I was trying to do. Didn't quite get there, but that's why that was first year.
Exactly. Yeah.
Year.
It's almost like looking at someone else's book. Like it doesn't even seem like it's in the same realm of what you're doing. Yeah. It's crazy.
Totally.
I have another question then. When in first year, your perception of what advertising would be, and when you give that aha moment that, oh, this is how it works.
Okay, well, for me, loves reading Vogue and Vanity Fair. I was like, ooh, I'll be doing like Dolce & Gabbana and like Prada and like all this other stuff. And then I'm like, oh, I got Scotch Brite and Mr. Clean. Well, that's cool. So it's like having to shift my mind and being like, okay, I'm going to have to do campaigns for brands that, maybe I don't know a whole lot about or, really didn't put much care into. And now I do have to care because, especially if once I go out into the industry and I'm working potentially for these brands, I have to care about them because it's their company on the line, right? So it's having to like learn about everything and everything, like just absolutely everything in the world.
Yeah. Taking everything into consideration.
Exactly. It's not just these like giant. You're like coming in like you said. You think you're gonna work on all these giant brands, right? But then like you then realize it's like, well, everything needs advertising. Maybe this company with like a $5,000 budget will need advertising. You got to work around that. Not every company has these like Super Bowl type like ads or type of money. Like that's where I feel like the really creative side of things come in because you've got to work around that. Like how would this work for this small of a company, or how would this work for like this really odd company like a cleaner or like a soup or something? You just the most random things you never think of doing, which I think that was a big curve for me because you don't even think of it like that.
Yeah, definitely. When you think of advertising, you think of like Nike commercials, Apple commercials, and car commercials and things like that.
Exactly.
So it's definitely interesting.
Yeah.
I think that point came as soon as the Deck of Brilliance was introduced, or like the different methods, the rules, the way that one thing had to have a twist and the other one didn't. All those rules came in, and I had this perception that advertising was pretty random, like spur of the moment, completely creative. I didn't know there was like a method to all of it, and pretty early on in first year, my perception changed on that too.
Yeah,
and it's like there's like a blueprint.
Yeah,
I think once you have the method, your creativity goes into specific places that is more focused and can have more power to it.
Yeah.
The whole chaotic process.
Yeah.
It's something that you can focus on specific because it makes.
I was educated by Don Draper in Mad Men, so I had a kind of a basis in advertising. Mine was 1950s advertising. Very different, but like.
All right. So let's go then to second year. So let's talk now.
Where things got real.
Let's talk now with the end of first year. Say I can do this. I think, and get into second year. Well, so what do you want to say to the first years that hurt?
It's a wake up call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you think that you can handle stress, you definitely have to rethink that and get prepared to raise your limit.
Yeah.
You don't have a choice.
Yeah, and when you're doing it, it's really stressful, but it's a good thing. Like you need to look at it as a good thing, and going through all of that really brings you to where we are today.
Yeah. Like first year, you're kind of like learning a little bit about everything. Where second year, like you're actually taking that now and honing your skills through that, and actually really learning like how to do everything really well. So I think that's kind of like what Lin was saying, the stressful part of it. Because you just get all this stuff thrown at you, which is good though, because now you're like, all right, I can pretty much do this now. So yeah, I would say that.
Yeah, second year definitely is a year of execution. Where first year was the year of knowing how to come up with the ideas. Second year, there's so many different kinds of ideas that there is no class that can teach you how to execute everything you want to do. So it's a lot about being proactive and teaching yourself those like hard technical skills to bring your idea to life, which kind of compounds itself onto the work.
Yeah.
And then second year is also the year where we push for awards on top of our schoolwork. So when that is in the curriculum, you have to go outside of the grade and you have to want to submit something to an award. And once you're balancing that with school, it can also get a lot more stressful.
I think when the award aspect came into effect, like that's when I realized like this is real. Like you can actually be like go places with this, but the work that goes into it is like 10 times more than just the school projects.
It's not just school anymore. Yeah, right. It's like other people are gonna see this, and your work could possibly go to hundreds of people, right? So I think that's a really cool part.
Yeah. It's like a minute and 30-second video, but you're revising it for 2 months.
Yeah. And I will say, if you by the time you get to second year and you go to that award process, your quote unquote school year doesn't end in April. It gets pushed on till June, July, because award entries are to then, and you're still expected to work on the stuff that you did during school into that summer period.
Yeah, you almost have to have that like initiative after working everything. Like you have to be able to want more afterwards.
Yeah.
Kiss your reading week goodbye too.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, it was also fun. Like I think being immersed in it so much, like it made it feel less like work. Like, and it was enjoyable to work like on weekends and things like that. Like, and you really want to go the extra distance. Yeah. Doing that work in time that's not school, it seems a little more like plausible.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like you get to a point where you're almost more enjoying it. Like I know a lot of people are like, oh, I have to do work outside of school, but sometimes you get so invested in one of your assignments or one of these award shows that you're like, man, I want to learn how to do this cool transition or do this cool effect on one of these posters or something. So I feel like that is a very good skill to have, is have initiative outside of just the school work. Like learn yourself. Like you're going to learn a lot during school, but also go out and learn something new that you might have not learned that you want to do. Like that'll be probably one of the biggest helps, I feel like, after you graduate.
Oh, 100%.
And I think because of that too, you end up being sucked into this weird like void bubble thing. And that second year flies by.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. It really does.
100%.
Yeah. What else? It's very important to say that proactivity on learning things, because if you have that, I think you will become a much better student.
Oh, yeah.
When it comes to that. When you realize, if we get to, for example, as I said to you guys numbers of times, I can do a 3 year just in Photoshop. It would be 3 years of Photoshop stuff happening on all the classes. There's no way I can teach all the stuff that you guys need. But I think you guys are very good on that part, on searching and make things happen.
Yeah,
very good.
Also really important to that is, I think, pay attention to all the media that you're consuming. And when you're watching something and going like, how did they do that? And then that can spark something. So you learn how to do that. And then you're like, this will really fit in this case study video that I'm doing. So it's like paying attention to what other people are doing or things that you can kind of put into your own work.
And I know that Jeff and I can be Jeff is the other, Jeff Petrossi, the other copywriter professor, the other creative teacher. We can be very picky on the Discord and on the approval of things.
Oh, yes.
But because we want you guys to recognize when to see what's happening, I think those discussions on Discord or online or live at class when we're going back and forth on how to make it better is where the learning happens.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
You know, and that's what I think. I see the speed from last year to this year of you guys on Discord is like a
Yeah. You tell everyone just like, yeah. Everyone wants to do well. Everyone wants to have that like next great idea or that next like submission or something.
But I think the transition to the workforce, I think it will not be so like a little bit smoother.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I will say the adjustment made from like school to the workforce is definitely the speed at which you have to work at.
Yeah, the turner.
Turnaround is like, so you
Caribbean, Notion, and what is it, One Method?
Yep, one method. Yep.
Yeah.
for what, sorry?
No, the agency that there's work.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Momentum.
Momentum.
Yeah.
No, Notion.
Yeah. So I was like,
Momentum.
pardon me.
My bad. Momentum worldwide.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only been in the workforce for a couple of weeks now, but I've even seen the turnaround. It's like day. Like
Yeah, actually, if it's a pitch.
yes. It can get pretty intense.
So
for sure.
fun.
It is fun, yeah.
It's different from assignment and project when it goes to real work. And you know that in the agency, it's like picking all the good students from all the different places and put in one place.
Yeah, exactly.
Go experienced people, and then it becomes like the next level of working.
Work. Yeah, absolutely.
Like to even go like because I'm at a smaller agency. There's only like about 8 of us, and there's like back to the thing of like working with the weirdest client. Like I'm having to make condos interesting. Like I never thought I would have to try and do that, right? But it's just like that type of mindset where it's like immediately I was like, okay, I'll try and figure something out. It's not like I have to do this. So I think that's kind of like another fun part about it coming out of it.
Yeah, definitely. Like you never know what's going to come across your table next and what you're going to be tackling. It can be the most random thing or it can be the biggest like campaign ever.
Yeah,
like, you never know.
Yeah.
And I think at the beginning, if more senior people at the place you're working notice that you can handle a brief that nobody will like to do
Yeah,
in a very good way, it'll say, oh my God, if they can do this with this brief,
yeah.
imagine what I can do with a even more open brief.
Yeah.
And I think that's the attitude.
Yeah.
100%.
And that's kudos to you. I mean, like whenever I feel like everyone, you guys give us these brands and these companies, and we're all like, what is this? You know, it's like they're so different and they're so like unique in this spot where we're like, I don't even know like where to start with this, but it gives you that mindset, like you were saying, of just being able to be ready to tackle anything, right? So, which I think is a good plus about this program.
Well, you choose the brand from the back.
Yeah. That's it. I found out that Whiskas made juice boxes for cats. Yeah, an entire campaign about it. Yeah, that was just like to this day, that was one of my favorite memories from the program. Yeah, it's so much fun.
Then I was on the lookout for those too now.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. For my cat.
Instead of going to third year now, I will ask you guys to give a suggestion to the students right now. What is the best application of your time during the 4th month that you're out of school until September?
Stay creative. It's like, I'm sure all of you have something that you absolutely love creatively. Like for me, I have my photography, I have cooking and baking. Like I'm constantly doing things. I love editing videos, so I'll edit videos as well. So just keep yourself creative, but have fun while you're doing it. And I think it's through that you kind of maintain that creative muscle, and also consume a lot of art and culture and get out there into the world and talk to people. And I think that would be the best use of your time.
I agree. Yeah. Spot with that.
Yeah, I would say you 100% have to have a creative outlet outside of school and work. Because we are in a creative industry, but if you're not doing something that creatively stimulates yourself, you're going to burn out so much faster. So you have to find a way to kind of bring that creativity back into your own soul.
Yeah. We got to backtrack a bit on that one. Is like definitely consume media, but try not to consume it like constantly, because then I feel like you lose your own personal creative touch.
Yeah, definitely.
You don't want to like be too consumed to be like, well, it has to look exactly like that. Like do in those 4-month period, do something that you enjoy, that you want, that you're passionate about, that you're not telling yourself like, oh, I have to do this. Like, you want to do it. I feel like that's a big one because, like you said, it keeps that creative spark in your mind going.
Yeah, and it's like you can do. There's creativity comes in so many forms. It's literally there's no restraints on it whatsoever. You could be like building things out of trees that you chop down. Like,
Are you building things out of trees?
I'm not personally.
He's using ice sculpting now.
That's actually not chiseling. But yeah, there's so many creative outlets that it's like it's endless opportunities for you to flex those creative muscles.
Yeah. You may not even notice, but you are being creative with this. Like, if you're just writing your own journal or something, or if you make music on the side, or if you're taking photography on your trips or whatever, like there's so many different ways.
Yeah. So true.
I agree with all that. I will say summer of second year, if there's an idea that you don't want to die, you really want that in your portfolio, revisit it.
Yeah.
As well as your own work, if you give the ideas you had back then a chance. Because later on in like third year or second year, you might be too swamped with time and you kind of let it fade out. But if there's something you find that really could work, Jeff and Raph will tell you if there's like something you did in first or second year that you should revisit. Take the time to look at it during summer.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, let's get to third year now.
Oh yes.
So just second year is going to third year.
Yeah. Cool. Honestly, like it's gonna be a lot of work, but just also try and have fun with it. Like I feel like if you just kind of just look at it as like I gotta work, I feel like your work's not gonna come out as great. But you got to have that creative mind open to whatever company or brand or something you get it, because it is a big change. It's a big step. I mean, you're actually working with clients now, and don't be afraid to communicate. Don't be afraid to communicate, because that is going to be your best friend through the thing, because you're going to be working with so many different people that even if you miss a single message, like it could change something.
So project management is a thing.
Yeah, 100%. Like make sure you're on top of that. Just because one person isn't informed but 5 other people are, that doesn't mean that's okay. Like, you need to make sure everyone who's a part of the project is informed of what's going on, so you can stay steady on that track.
Yeah, totally.
I would also say, take that summer between second and third year and start thinking about where you want to intern. Don't wait till school starts, and start doing your research on the different agencies and seeing, what one might be a good fit for you.
Yeah.
I would say one thing I'd say is don't take yourself too seriously, because you're going into the like agency world and you're kind of getting that more like real life experience. But if you're like so like critical about yourself and critical about the work you're producing, you're going to lose that passion. You're going to lose that spark. And then also with the serious aspect of it, message as many people as you can find on LinkedIn. Like, yes, I like, for me, I know that was something I struggled with, just because I was so anxious of if they're going to actually like take me seriously, if I take myself seriously.
Yeah.
So I would say just message them. If they don't respond, then it's not somebody or someone you want to work with.
Yeah. Dude, LinkedIn is one of the greatest tools I've been taught, like, in this. I had no idea even what it was before like first year, and now I'm on it. I use it like it's Instagram.
Yeah, it's our new social media.
Yeah. It's like, I never ever thought I would get to this point.
Yeah.
You're like, who am I?
Yeah, seriously, I'm turning into a professional. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think to what Lin said, like, it's really easy to get wrapped up in the like internship part, and there's a lot of balls in the air in your third year. You have the real client, like JD said, and there's so many things that you can think about. But the biggest thing to do is just enjoy yourself. Like, really think back to like what you enjoyed about advertising and what you've enjoyed about the program so far, and keep that going. Like that joy is gonna be what propels you like in your career.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like your job is to be creative. Like, how sick is that?
Yeah,
right.
It's amazing.
Yeah, you're not just like just sitting behind like doing like some sort of like numbers all day or something.
Yeah.
If you are, it's probably
yeah.
I'll have to like put shade on anyone.
These like
program is the best.
You get to be a kid in a sandbox, and you get to play. Like, excuse me, I'm an adult and I get to play.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get to work with Cat Juice Box.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. What is the biggest struggle to build the portfolio?
I will say third year is the year of sending emails. If you never send emails in your first 2 years, do it in third year, because the work gets at least 50% better the more emails you send between the deadlines. And the multiple rounds of feedback really helps your work come through better. What was the question again?
What is your biggest struggle to make a portfolio?
So the struggle she's getting that struggle is you get the peer review and you get one round of feedback from your professor. But then after your feedback from your professor, there's still a lot of more work to be done to your idea if you want to get it to the level of polish that you want for your portfolio. So a couple emails here and there will really help you in the long run.
Yeah.
Yes, honestly.
Be okay with feedback. Like that was a big one for me. It was I was like struggling putting it together because I was just like, oh, what are they gonna think of this? But that's the point. Like you want to give them the portfolio so they can tell you what they like and what they don't like, and then you can take that feedback and then put it into your work and then make it even better. Like you got to be okay with like some rejection and some feedback, whether it's positive or negative. Like that's the point I feel like of your portfolio is to show your work and learn how you can do better.
Yeah, I think it's like almost like for me, like swallowing my pride and just like saying, this is it, like being vulnerable and just saying, what would you change about this? What do you like about this? And then actually taking that to heart and like thinking about it and making those changes.
Because this is the safe space to have.
Exactly. Yeah. It's really just getting over that anxiety. For me anyways, like I was just scared to send it to anyone. I didn't even want to show my mom. It's like, you're losing yourself. Yeah, it's making you very vulnerable for sure. But I think just getting over that hump is a big win for sure.
Yeah.
The great thing about the classroom is we've known each other for 3 years now. We've all had the same classes. We understand what we're trying to do. And we're not really in competition with each other. We just want each other to do the best.
Yeah, we want success for everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what like definitely don't be afraid to like nag your peers or your professors. Like Cristina said, like we all want each other to succeed. So if there's a way that I can help somebody else's book be better and they can help me and vice versa, it's a wonderful like resource to have.
And we're all in the same boat.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, like everyone's doing the exact same thing. Like no one's gonna look poorly at you for asking for a helping hand.
No.
Right?
And I think those are the same skills that you should take with you when you get your job, because you want to be talking to everybody in the office and going like, hey, how can I make this idea better? Because again, this is going back to the whole, sometimes you're too close to the idea or you're too close to the work. And it helps just being able to have that moment to just kind of like riff off with somebody. Like,
this is the place to do it.
Yeah.
Like that's,
this is where it starts.
You're here to learn, so use it to your advantage.
Yeah.
So I go through them one last questions. How are your feelings right now? They're about to.
Yeah, this is like it. We're
See you guys.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
Because this will be listened for more years of
Yes.
Yeah.
coming to the college and listen to you.
I don't think it's set in for me. Like a couple of us were discussing out there. We were saying like it's not going to set till I think next week, like Tuesday.
I was going to say next year.
When you're done, you're reapplying and
But yeah, like it's not going to set till Tuesday because it's like that the day I'm supposed to go back to class.
what are you gonna do? Yeah.
So I have to go to work. I have to go into an agency or to find an internship, depending on who you are. It's like, what do I do?
Right.
I've had the schedule for like 3 years. Now it's gone. I have to create a new one.
Oh, yeah. At least for me. I don't know if anyone else in the room has this experience because I'm a young person here. I've been in school all my life. I haven't had like a period of time where I'm like not having assignments or grades. So now it's like, what is life without an assignment?
Yeah, what is life with no grades or tests?
That's where hobbies come into play.
Have those develop?
Yeah.
But it's the time now for you guys to do this and get paid for it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's the money. Money's gonna be nice.
Actually getting
Because
paid.
then you have more time to think about your other stuff.
Yeah.
But
You kind of start like your own like life in a way now, right? Like you've got all these skills now to, actually go out and pursue them. And I'm excited. I'm nervous.
Yeah.
I don't know what's gonna happen. Like it could be. It's who knows? Yeah. Like that's the fun part.
How do you feel, Raph?
Yeah,
It was setting the bird.
I feel confident that you guys have the skills to enter as a junior and not be desperate. Like, what am I gonna do?
Yeah, running around with
Not yet. Yeah, and that's what it need. To people who hire you feel confident on the work as a junior that you're doing. That's my, and I feel sad.
Yeah, saying I feel sad. Honestly, say
Every year I feel sad, but it's like a good groundhog year. That you're back in September and you
do it over.
over again with a new batch of advertising students, and that's I can't complain about my job. It's a great job,
Yeah.
and especially to have conversations and know people like you guys.
Stop. Is this your basically is we are your favorite?
No, you brought it to me. Sorry.
I just thought it would be a good conversation.
Yeah.
I just have one last thing to say here. Please don't be normal. Okay?
Oh, don't worry, I'm already very strange.
Yeah, I don't think I
Don't be normal. Just ignore the best one. Oh, guys, the best of luck to you and the whole class of 2024. Okay, so that's Dan. And to the next Rapscast. Bye-bye. Bye, everyone.
Good luck.
That's it.
Yeah.